Let's Get Cooking, Healthy and Delicious, Episode 10. I'm Daniella, your dietitian. Today we're going to be talking about something called the MIND diet. MIND stands for Mediterranean - Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. It was developed to reduce dementia, reduce the risk of Alzheimer's, and improve cognitive function as we get older. The diet looks at a combination of the Mediterranean diet, very well known, as well as something called the DASH diet, which is a diet that stops hypertension. Many experts have shown that this research really helps with brain health. So, what do we eat? What is this MIND diet? Well, it includes 10 brain-friendly foods and limits what we call 5 brain-unfriendly foods. Here are the top 10 MIND diet foods. Green leafy vegetables is number 1. So we're talking kale, lettuce, spinach. We want to aim for about 6 or more servings a week. So I always say, aim for a salad a day. Next up is all other vegetables. So colorful vegetables, red peppers, purple cabbage, orange carrots. Aim to eat a rainbow every day and aim for 1 additional color each day. Next up is berries. Try and eat berries at least twice a week. Doesn't matter if they're frozen or fresh. Nuts are another one. The goal is to try and get 5 servings of nuts or more each week. If nuts are too hard for you to chew or digest, you can do nut butters. Walnuts are the king of brain health. So if you can throw 1 or 2 walnuts in there, go ahead. Olive oil is another one. Try and use olive oil as your main cooking oil. Olive oil is great for salad dressings, for low temperature cooking, and it's wonderful for your brain. Next up is whole grains. Aim for at least 3 servings a day. So whole grains are anything like oats, whole grain bread, quinoa, whole wheat pasta, brown rice. Try and aim for a whole grain at each meal. So at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast could be your oats, lunch could be whole grain toast, and dinner could be some brown rice. Fish, at least once a week, is recommended on the MIND diet. Beans, I'm talking chickpeas, lentils, edamame, kidney beans. Try and aim for at least 4 meals a week that include beans. Beans fit into your protein section of the food plate that we showed you back in session 1, Canada's Food Guide. So beans can replace fish or meat or chicken a couple times a week. Chicken, try and eat chicken or turkey at least twice a week. And next up is wine. Now we don't tell someone who doesn't drink to start drinking, but if you do drink, just know that 5 ounces of wine, red or white, was shown to be anti-inflammatory and may help protect against Alzheimer's. And this is only pertaining to brain health and mind health. We do not recommend going out to drink if you're not a drinker. If you're drinking beer or scotch, can you switch to a bit of wine? And if you're drinking 2 or more glasses a day, can you reduce that to no more than 1? Now, let's talk about the brain-unfriendly foods. There are 5 on the list, and they are the following. Number 1, fast food. Can you try and have fast food less often? I'm talking chicken nuggets and French fries. Number 2 is cheese. The goal was to have cheese less than once a week. Cheese wasn't a brain-friendly food, but we may need to reach for it in order to get some calcium. So remember, variety and everything in moderation. Next up was sugars and sweets and pastries, trying to have those at least less than 5 times a week, so not every day. Butter or margarine was on that brain-unfriendly list. Keeping butter or margarine to less than 1 tablespoon a day was recommended. Last but not least on the MIND or brain-unfriendly foods was red meat. Trying to keep our red meat consumption to less than 4 times a week is optimal for brain health. That's our research on the MIND diet. Now we're going to get started with our delicious recipe that really supports brain health, and it's a salmon recipe. So fish once a week, high in something called omega-3 fat, and Let's get started. Today's salmon recipe calls for 2 salmon fillets, about 4 to 6 ounces each. Just putting on a piece of parchment paper on a baking tray in the middle. And in my separate bowl, I'm combining 2 cloves of minced garlic, 1/2 tablespoon of olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of honey. That gives it a nice sweet flavor. I'm going to just combine this, mix it up really, really well. Combine the garlic, the onion, Now that we've made a delicious salmon recipe, a few food storage, safety, cost-effective tips for this recipe. Try and serve the recipe, the fish right away. And if you can't, just refrigerate it in an airtight container. Cooked fish can be refrigerated in an airtight container for up to 3 to 4 days in the fridge. You can freeze it for a lot longer, even a few months. If you don't like salmon, make this recipe with any fish. Rainbow trout is another one that's high in omega-3 fat. If you don't eat fish or have a fish allergy, it's probably best to take an omega-3 supplement. Omega-3 supplements should be taken as long as it's okayed by your physician. Check with your pharmacist. Sometimes if we're on blood thinners, it can increase bleeding times. So we never want to do an omega-3 supplement if we are on a blood thinner. You can take an omega-3 supplement from an animal source, which is a fish, and most of them are from sardines or salmon or mackerel. You can also take an omega-3 supplement from algae. Algae is what the fish eat, and that's why they are rich in omega-3. And those are available at most health food stores. If salmon is too costly, you can buy the frozen salmon. Just be aware that frozen salmon tends to have more sodium because it's injected with sodium nitrates to make it thaw and cook well. So be mindful of that if you've been told to watch your sodium. Another economical way to get salmon or fish into your diet is canned. So again, a little bit higher in sodium, but as long as you're not having it too often and you are rinsing canned vegetables, draining the water and rinsing out the sodium, a can of salmon would just be fine to get some omega-3 fat. So you can buy canned salmon that's skinless and boneless. You can also buy the canned salmon that has the small bones, and those are edible because they're high in calcium. So again, many ways to get salmon into your diet, whether it's fresh, frozen, canned, or as a supplement in order to get omega-3 fat. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you a week filled with healthy eating.